Hi, I'm Giulia Pettena. This is the model about Roman Florence, and we start from here because we have to see the territory of Florence. So from this point, that's on the northern hill up to Fiesole, we can see the valley where Florence stands. So you can see modern Florence, and you can understand the very good and strategic position of the city because you see it lays on an open valley, the valley of the river Arno, and this was the perfect point for a city to be born. In ancient times, this point in Tuscany was very strategic because was in the valley of the river Arno, that was a navigable river, and people could reach easily the sea, the Tyrrhenian Sea, the Western Sea of Italy. And then it was positioned in a region of Italy that was in the center. So here there were crossroads of roads that were connecting northern and southern Italy, and then the western part of Italy with the eastern one through the mountains of the Apennines. So here we are in the very beginning of the hills of this range of mountains. So it was exactly here in this plain that in Roman times was a theater of a lot of wars, especially and battles, especially during the time of civil and social wars of the end of the Republican times. So we are in the 1st century BC. And in this period, Julius Caesar, in 59 BC, decided to realize an agrarian law. So to divide territories and give land to his veterans, so the ex-soldiers that fought for Rome. After the law enacted by Julius Caesar, so we said in 59 BC, the territory on the west part of Florence was divided through the Roman system of the centuriation. So the land was exactly divided to give lots of land to the ex-soldiers. The centuriation followed the main waterways and so was not exactly aligned with the city. You can still see this division of Roman times from the high, from an aerial view. And it's very interesting that going to that part, so to the west, we have still today little cities called Quarto, Quinto, Sesto, and Settimo. So 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, because of the Roman miles from and Roman stones from the road going to from Florence to the west. Roman Florence was founded and was named Florentia during the end of the 1st century BC. We don't know exactly if it was founded by Cornelius Sylla, by Julius Caesar, or maybe in the first years of the empire of Augustus. But we are so in the second half of the 1st century BC. Florence was founded as all the Roman cities as military colonies. So in the sense that was designed as a military camp. So Roman town planning was set on the planning of the encampments. So the first colony, so the first castrum, meaning encampment, was encircled by walls and protected by round towers. As usual, the city was designed with an orthogonal grid based on two main axes, so two main roads, the Cardo Maximus, so the main Cardo, and the Decumanus Maximus. Then all the other streets, so creating a grid, an orthogonal grid, were called Minor Cardi and Minor Decumani. The Cardo Maximo is the hinge of the city, so the main axis of the city, and the commercial hub, where usually shops and vendors were laying. Then Cardo, the name Cardo, Latin, it's connected, the route is connected to cardinal points, the cardinal points through which were divided in orthogonal grids the Roman cities. So the Cardo Maximus, the hinge of the city, the main axis. The Decumanus Maximus, that was crossing the Cardo Maximus, and the center became then the forum, the center of the city. The Decumanus Maximus, so the main Decumanus, was called like this because Via Decumana, or Via Decimana, meaning the 10th, connected the Porta Praetoria, so the gate closest to the enemy, to the Porta Decumana, so far away from the enemy. Decumana means the 10th is because this street was divided, the 10th court of the army. The court is a group of soldiers in the Roman army, in the part of the army called the legion, the 10th court from the 9th. So from this, a military definition, came the name of the second most important street in Roman cities. The city was given the name Florentia, in English Florence, in Italian Firenze, because Florentia means flowering, rich. So was connected to the destiny of the city to become a very important commercial hub and a very important city in Italy to especially with the goods produced and exchange, feed the armies and meet the needs and the requests of the most important Mediterranean metropolises. As often happens, the structure and monuments of ancient cities are hidden in the underground of modern cities. Florence has never ceased to be inhabited from the Roman age to today, and is therefore a superimposition of historical layers. However, this does not mean a cancellation of the past, and in fact, walking through Florence today, following the information of history and with the help of archaeological research, we can find many traces of Roman Florence. The major discoveries were made during the urban refurbishment of the late 19th century, so 1800s, when Florence became the capital of Italy from 1865 to 1871. Then during the post-World War II reconstructions of the city and in recent archaeological excavations. Florencia, so Roman Florence, was founded on the right bank of the Arno River. In a plain, in a flat area that was already frequented since the 9th century BCE. Was frequented because of the presence of a ford, so an easy way and a site to cross the river, just upstream the current Ponte Vecchio, or Old Bridge, where, in this point of the river, a wooden bridge was then created, and then made more solid only in the 2nd century AD, during the age of Emperor Hadrian. So we mentioned Ponte Vecchio, or Old Bridge. This bridge is the first and oldest of the bridges of Florence. And the bridge that we see today was built in 1345 after the Great Flood of 1333 by the architect Taddeo Gaddi. And this bridge was the only one who also survived the German destructions of 1944 in the Second World War. The area in antiquity was swampy, and this is why the major settlements were located up on the hills, and especially to the north, as in Fiesole. The area was then largely reclaimed, and in fact, already in the 2nd century BC, on the site where the future Florencia will stand, there was a rather flourishing settlement. Another important reclamation of the plain was done perhaps at the time of Julius Caesar, around the middle of the 1st century BC. And it's very likely that the final layout of the colony is to be dated to the last decades of the same century, early in the Augustan age, so the age of the first emperor of Rome, Augustus. The city and the monuments you see today belong to then the development of the city from the Middle Ages to today.